Okay, Frankie. I'm just gonna ask you what are your thoughts and emotions, and what is your mood whenever you see the amphitheater or if you sit in it?
Um, well, during the day, I think it's like a happy place and where it wants like everyone to just kind of come in and hang out and study and perform. And like I've seen kids there before performing, so I think it's just like kind of a cute
You
place.
have seen people actually
Yeah,
perform?
I've seen people use it before. Um, and then at night it's like dark and it's quiet because campus is.
As a freshman, every day is a journey. Arriving to K-Lot each morning with my coffee in hand, hoping to make it to class on time. Waiting for the shuttle bus to take me to the Fine Arts building to put away my French horn is even more of a hassle than it needs to be. I always simulate the worst case scenarios in my mind while I count the minutes it takes the bus to reach my destination with all the morning traffic on campus. Almost always cutting too close for comfort. Being a musician, I have come to learn that on time is actually quite late. There are thousands of students just like me. Monday through Friday, we walk around university attempting to be on time for class. We search for places where we diligently study or on the rare occasion eat lunch. Constantly, we analyze our surroundings. Is this a nice, quiet spot where I can get my work done without distractions? Can I stay here without disrupting someone else? Most importantly, am I close enough to Whitehall so that I can optimally use my time without being late? How do I feel about this scene? Why am I studying in an amphitheater? It seems to be full of other students on laptops and such. But it's an amphitheater, right? Well, I suppose it's alright. The stage is vacant after all. I wonder why. Unknown to us, this process occurs all the time without being blatantly obvious. We look for trouble in everything that happens and everywhere we go. Questions form in our minds, especially the mind of a freshman student in new territory who isn't familiar with college and probably won't be for another couple of semesters. Why is there a Roman amphitheater outside of my psychology lecture? Why isn't it being used to its full potential? Or is it? My main question to Frankie, who just so happened to be sitting near the amphitheater and Memorial Hall, was exactly what I mentioned above. How does the amphitheater scene make you feel personally? Do you think that it's being used in the right way? What emotions are evoked inside you when you sit in the amphitheater? Is there trouble here in this particular space? While I was talking to Frankie. However, she understood exactly what my questions meant. The interview with a student just like me helped me to understand the scene depiction project in a whole new light. Everyone has their own views based upon personal experiences and upbringings, but in the long run, all the answers are going to be the same. Each of us look for trouble in places we go in our lives, especially if we just listen to what the place has to say. Just like a human being, places can speak to us. What I mean is that the uses of the place, the types of people who go there, and the vibe of the area in general speaks for the place, which doesn't actually have human qualities at all. What interested me the most about Frankie was how she answered my questions about ordinary people, other than college students we see all over campus every day. It's hard to look outside of the box and consider other members of our community who visit the amphitheater. Students have a difficult time seeing the amphitheater as something other than a simple studying nook or chill zone. A place to come during the day, where you're welcome to use the amphitheater for whatever you like. But when you think about the visitors on campus, such as the kids who come to visit our wonderful college, and the high school students who come to get a glimpse of college life to excite them about their futures following an opportunity to pursue knowledge, they see the amphitheater as an attempt made by the university to bring culture and diversity to a public school, a beautiful addition to the seriousness of a lecture hall it is attached to. Frankie answered my questions pretty smoothly with no nervousness at all, unlike myself. This leads me to believe that she already wondered about it herself. We are constantly aware of the thought chatter of our minds. We are constantly thinking, wondering, and analyzing our thoughts that are very random at times. It's one of the many gifts of life and being human. The ability to think and break down the thoughts we have. Animals can't do this. Yeah, they're able to analyze to a certain point, perhaps to avoid danger, but their brains are not that complex. Animals look for trouble on an obvious level. We look for trouble and ask why, how, and who. The amphitheater is a wonderful place. It's exciting and fresh and useful. Everyday people can enjoy it just as much as the students here at the University of Kentucky, in a much different way, yet at the same time very similar. All of this comes back to the pursuit of education, enrichment of our minds, which are often so closed off to things we don't understand. Success is something that I believe every single person wants for themselves. These facts unite students and teachers as one. People in the amphitheater all come for the same basic reasons, looking to learn something new. Whether that knowledge is from a textbook, laptop, or smartphone, it doesn't matter. The new information can even be about oneself. Frankie was very calm and willing to help me out in the interview process. I approached her near the amphitheater while she was listening to her headphones and working on some sort of study guide. I hated to bother her, but she smiled at me as I approached her, so I took this as an invitation to talk to her. Her perspective on the amphitheater is very similar to mine. That is, it's not really being used to its full potential, but it has exceeded its greatest potential at the very same time, meaning that although there is trouble in the amphitheater scene, it also really doesn't even matter. There are no facts, only interpretations. Friedrich Nietzsche. Every person is very unique and different. One person's truth may be another person's trouble. Either way, there is always a question to be asked. Who, what, when, why, and how are constant thoughts running through everyone's mind. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. Plutarch. It's one thing to fill one's mind with facts and ideas, and a different one entirely to fill it with curiosity and ambition, a need to discover and learn, to take those ideas to great heights. Students are not to be filled with knowledge by teachers, but a candle to inspire. Facts may change, so they need to want to learn more and be open to new ideas. Light a fire and they may keep going in research. Being that the University of Kentucky is a research-based school, I believe that's something that the majority of students as well as people in our community who look for trouble can agree upon these wise statements. The curious mind will seek out answers, but one must be open to all ideas and continue to think. All the while, some questions have answers that are also questions in themselves to remain unanswered. It is a choice to be content with unanswered questions. Sometimes it's best that there are questions with no specific answer. The answers to these questions can be answered truthfully with your own personal perspectives.